My list before this weekend was John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva, and Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. Those are my four guys right there.
I think if Islam beats another undefeated fighter, like a Michael Morales or a Shavkat, or he beats Kamaru Usman, one of those three guys, if he beats them, I put him above GSP.
Is Islam on that list yet for me? I don't think so, just because.
Let me finish up and wrap this up on the Islam talk, though, is where do you put him in the pound-for-pound rankings right now? I mean, I'm assuming you have John Jones at the top. Then you put, what, GSP or Islam? I mean, not pound-for-pound, sorry, greatest of all time.
Yeah, gotcha. I mean, my list before this weekend was John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva, and Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. Those are my four guys right there.
In that order?
I don't necessarily have an order, but that probably would be my order if I had to have an order. John Jones is certainly number one. Yeah, I think because I'm really looking at this list because there's so many angles that you could take. But for me to take this list, I look at it, title defenses, the length of time that they reigned dominant while the belt was around their waist, fighting the best guy in the world where they could have an off night and fall flat, and they didn't do it. And John Jones, Anderson Silva, GSP, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson's a guy that kind of bounces around and on and off this list from other people. When we talk about title defenses and also just how long he made a run for, and just pound for pound, like the best fighter in the world type of ability that he possesses. That's why he's on that list. Now, is Islam on that list yet for me? I don't think so, just because I'm looking at it with the top thing being title defenses when he's not quite there yet. What is it? What is he in title defenses right now? He's at 6 or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, so he's creeping up on it. But for me, I need to see more of it. Okay. And look, and we talked about this last show, but, you know, some of those title defenses were against 45ers, and that's why he went up to in weight and everything. And so,
okay, so
it's not quite there for me.
I'm going to pitch my argument to you.
Go ahead.
And obviously, I'm going to come in with a little bit of homer. I'm going to come in a little bit as a homer. But for me, DJ, I think DJ did a fantastic job, but he's not on my list. And the only reason why I'm saying is the 125-pound division was a weak weight class. He fought at 135.
I can agree with that.
Never got a second title. He dropped down from 35 to 25 when they started the 125-pound weight class. He lost to Dominic Cruz, and then he came when he did fight somebody who had the ability to wrestle and get after it. Henry Cejudo ended up beating him. Now I know he was getting a little bit older, but he still went on to one championship, became a champion over there.
Right.
Like he fought,
and I'm counting that in his career, that going on over to one and what he did in one as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I would have to, because those guys over there are not 125 either. Those guys were 150 by the time, he fought him. So I would give him a lot more. I give him a lot of credit for going over there and putting his career on the line to fight those guys that with this whole hydration policy that they have over there just is all fake. And they literally, it's 100% is.
I don't know. I have no idea about it.
But anyways, but I don't have DJ on the list. I put Islam above DJ. DJ to me is one of the greatest of all time. And if you've ever trained with him or been around him and seen him grappling, he is a technician through and through. Absolutely. I think he's one of the best. I don't have him on the list though, but I also am in the mix between, I'm going to have GSP and I'm going to have John Jones and Anderson Silva. The reason why I don't put Anderson Silva on the list is because the 185-pound weight class up until recently was one of the weakest weight classes ever. It's always been, and that's why I have him like he's there. Of course, what he did was absolutely fantastic. But let's take a look at some of the guys. You were just talking about Islam's guy, like, oh, he fought Moicano, oh, he fought so and so because these guys didn't make the weight or something fell off in the fight. Anderson Silva fought Patrick Cote,
Travis Lutter, Patrick Cote, yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a list there as well. I've been like, hey.
So I'll just argue this though. His list at the time, the 185 division was kind of just like, who's the random next guy? I agree with you. What made it so special was that he came into the UFC, won one fight against Chris Lieben, knocked him out, and a guy that doesn't get knocked out. And then he goes and beats Rich Franklin, knocks him out. His first fight in UFC, knocks out a guy that doesn't get knocked out. And then he goes and beats a champion in the next fight and reigns supreme for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And so that's, to me, like where the greatness comes in. Yeah, he was kind of getting thrown some random guys now and then. But I feel like they all kind of do. John Jones, he fought Chael Sonnen. Islam fought a couple 45ers. Like, I know I brought it up about Islam, and I kind of discredited him for some of the, I say discredited, but I still want to see more.
Let me, where do you put him at in terms of where do you put Islam then? He's not in the top 4, not top 5. Did I give you a good enough argument to put him in that top 2 or 3? Because look, no steroids involved. John Jones at the top. GSP and Islam are right equal with each other. GSP captured the second title, beating Michael Bisping, who honestly, to me, doesn't ever get the credit he deserved. A very tough fight for anybody who ever fought in the 85-pound division. I have him and Islam right now, GSP and Islam right now, neck and neck. Those two guys, because they both have 2 titles. I think if Islam beats another undefeated fighter, like a Michael Morales or a Shavkat, or he beats Kamaru Usman, one of those 3 guys, if he beats them, I put him above GSP.
Still underneath John Jones, but you
yeah, he still put him underneath John Jones. But if he beats 2 undefeated fighters
yeah.
in the toughest weight class in the sport right now, with all up and coming stars that are all young, Michael Morales is what, 26? Shavkat's what, 31? I mean, he might even be younger than that. You've got 31. Those 2 guys, 31, and then you've got Kamaru Usman, who's getting older in age, but as you said, John, Dana's calling him the greatest welterweight of all time. I'm not on that fence. I love Kamaru Usman, but I'm a GSP guy. I love Kamaru Usman. I've had him on the pod. He's a great guy, man. Absolutely great guy. But I put GSP slightly ahead of him. But I would put him probably number 2. I would definitely put him number 2.
For me, I guess Islam. You're forcing me to say something right here. I think Islam. I'll say it. I guess Islam would be my number 5 right now. Okay. And that number 5, that alternate that I kind of had bouncing was I was starting to get into the women. I was starting to like Amanda. For what she's done being a double champ. And we almost start talking now. Amanda was like the GOAT, for a while. And now we start to look at Bullet Shevchenko like, well, I know she beat Amanda. Amanda beat Shevchenko twice. But I think one of those was a split decision. It was a drastic weight difference right there. But Shevchenko has done so much. She doesn't have any more room on her belt for rubies, right? That's what Shevchenko has done lately. I mean, she is so dominant. So, I mean, these girls might be neck and neck. But that's kind of who I had at 5th. I think Islam is in that conversation. I have Islam, Amanda, and Shevchenko right there. If Islam went and beat Michael Morales and then he also beat Carlos Prates, I would have him above the ladies. But I still, for me, it's title defenses. And until he has more title defenses than some of these other guys that have 13, 11, 10, then I can't quite put him above it because do we know what is his title defenses right now? Islam Makhachev, is it 6?
I think it's 6.
Yeah. 6, okay. Yeah.
6. And I think GSP, I think John Jones is 13. I think Anderson Silva is 11. I think GSP's 10 or something like that, right? It's roughly around there. And so he's still got like 4 more title defenses behind these guys. And that's kind of what I hold superiority on right now in that type of list.
Okay, like I said, I'll put him equal with GSP right now. If he does beat Michael Morales, undefeated fighter, if he does beat Shavkat, undefeated fighter, that becomes the quality of fighter as well. That's the biggest complaint right now from a lot of people is the quality of fighters that he's had to fight because people pulled out or people just didn't make it to the fight. Somewhere along those lines. Habib had this very similar problem. Obviously that's how he won the title by beating Ali Quinta. Is it 5 people pulled out the week up?
Yeah.
I'll bring King Kong. I'll fight him if he can make 155. That's one of the most famous sayings.
See, there's a lot of guys that put Khabib. I think Daniel Cormier has Khabib like number 1 on all these lists, right? And I just can't do it. As much as I love Khabib, is it 3 title defenses for Khabib?
Yeah, I think so.
Three title defenses. And you just said, like, he had to fight whoever he could take. But you look at the number of title defenses and some of the quality of opponents that he had to fight, which wasn't a bunch of bad ones, but he's not on that list for me. Now, Khabib is almost in a separate category when we say, but who was the most dominant fighter who ever set foot in the octagon? Maybe that would be Khabib. When you talk about how many rounds he's lost throughout his career, how many fights he's lost, right? I mean, he's at the top of that list.
No, that's an actual fact. Is he's only lost 1, maybe 2. I think a lot of judges gave Justin Gaethje the first round when they fought, but he only lost two rounds throughout his whole career in the UFC. That being said, like John McCarthy had talked about, he had been inside the cage with him several times, and other refs have talked to me about it as well. They've never seen a fighter more dominant than Khabib. Like you could hear the voices of the fighters, them sighing, the way that they knew they couldn't get up, that look of defeat, very much how JDM looked this last weekend. And they saw that on every fighter's face that ever stepped foot inside that cage with him. I mean, if you go back to the Abel Trujillo fight with Khabib, it was the up and down that just Trujillo just couldn't keep up with.
Yeah.
Just eventually just kind of broke and was like, damn, I can't do anything. And Trujillo was explosive, extremely good wrestler.
Yeah.
Strong, man. That guy could wrestle. And he had no answer.
He had no answer for it, right? It wasn't a traditional wrestling style the way Khabib would just lean to one side and he just kept sweeping him, taking him down relentlessly. It was he didn't know what to do in that matchup. Yeah, Khabib. There's guys like Khabib, Alex Pereira. I mean, maybe he's kind of on that special list for me because I don't know how many title defenses Pereira's had, but he's done so much in such a short amount of time and become such a big star that it's a one of a kind type of fighter that we have. But it wasn't the dominance that Khabib. It's just on that list of guys that were just great.